What's up, Big Time? How are you, man?
How's everybody?
Excellent.
Good to see you.
So, Paul, 3 days away. Let's start with your third biggest storyline heading into the season.
I think it's all about Coach Prime. Can he do an encore? Listen, the season was a bust, the second half of the season. The first half had a lot of energy, and it had a lot of energy because of people like Stephen A. Smith showing up, giving love, and making that program relevant. Of course, it didn't hurt that they won the first couple of games, not against great competition, but they did it on a big stage. But Stephen A., I don't think anything's going to happen this year other than just a lot of white noise coming out of Boulder, Colorado. I think Coach Prime's already had a rough offseason. He snapped back at the reporters. I know you've dealt with that, and I'm not looking to relitigate some of the reasons why. But I just think it's going to be a tough sell for the nation as we get ready for a playoff where so many other schools are involved to waste a lot of time. And I really mean that, waste time on Coach Prime. He's Hollywood. It's sizzle. He's done a remarkable job of getting attention. But really, that's about it. There are a lot of question marks out there. Is he really a great coach, or is he simply just a showman?
Well, listen, I don't think he's just a showman. I think that he knows what he's doing. I just don't think he has the horses to get it done. I know one of the priorities that he was going to focus on was really buffering that offensive line, not just to protect his son, who's the star quarterback for the team, but to also be able to run the football. You need some beef out there. You know, when you're playing college football against these brothers that he's going to go against, and his team just looked relatively small and outmanned compared to the competition. So I don't disagree with you in terms of what their struggles are going to be. I think they'll be a little bit better than they were last year when they ended up losing 7 of their last 8 games or so, if I remember correctly. I don't think it's going to be quite that bad, but I don't think it's going to be great either. But I don't consider him a showman, and I'm going to tell you why, Paul. I think it's important that he has some level of success, the showmanship that we're talking about here. I would love to see more African Americans coaching in college football. And I think that if he goes about the business of garnering any level of success, I think it's going to open the doors of opportunities for others to come down the pike, ultimately to get their shot, to get their opportunities. That's why I think it's important for him to have a modicum of success. I don't think it'll be more than that, but I think it's possible for him to pull off a modicum of success compared to last year.
But Stephen A., going back to a conversation we had the day he took that job,
Okay.
I didn't like it. I know you didn't. And I think therein lies part of the problem. His talent is immense. And I think if you put him in the right place, it would turn a program upside down, not just from the sizzle standpoint. But that's the choice he made, and it's not like he had a lot of other great choices. So I agree with you. I don't want to come down on him for making an attempt. It's better than not, but at some point I think he has to take a long look at where he is.
Right. I totally agree. He knows, he hates when I say it, by the way. I'm like, who's coming to Boulder, Colorado? I mean, I really, really wanted him to get the Texas A&M job. I know that he wanted the Florida State job, his alma mater, when he was there. I know he wanted that job, and they went in a different direction, and obviously their coach has done an outstanding job. But I really, really wanted him at Texas A&M because I was thinking oil money, you know what I'm saying? Not quite OPEC, but oil money nevertheless, and giving him the resources, to really do something. Yeah. That's what I wanted him, but he swears up and down he's happy in Boulder, Colorado. God bless him.
All right, so number 3, all eyes on prime time. What do you have for number 2 as your storyline, Paul?
To me, it's Ryan Day. We can't take our eyes off of this guy. He has possibly the most talented roster, Molly, in the country. He went out and you talk about OPEC money. He spent it on this roster with some amazing players. I'm still not sure about his quarterback, Will Howard, but here comes the problem for Ryan Day. And I don't think this is going to happen, but you have to talk about it. He's lost 3 straight to Michigan. It's hard to tell the rest of the country how important that game is. I mean, it's everything in those 2 states. A loss to Michigan and a flame out in the playoffs, and I think he'll be on his way out of there. Don't think those are going to happen, but I think that's the kind of pressure that Ryan Day faces here. I mean, we know the talent he's had in there. C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields. It's endless in terms of the quarterbacks he's had and the wide receivers and the defensive players across the board. But he better go a long way this year, and I'm talking about to the championship game, in addition to beating Michigan at home.
I don't disagree with you, but I think it's important to bring this up. Yeah, you lost to Michigan. It's not good. But they sort of gave you a pass because they knew you were going against Jim Harbaugh. You're not anymore. He's gone. Sharon Moore's there now. And you're Ryan Day. You're supposed to beat Sharon Moore. You're supposed to beat Michigan. And so you may be right because, again, at some point we recognize the greatness of Jim Harbaugh, not just what he did in the NFL in 4 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers, but how he turned the program around at Michigan. So even though Ohio State was having their way against him initially, he came on strong and you sort of heard Michigan's footsteps along the way. They don't want to hear that now that Jim Harbaugh is gone, not at Ohio State. So, Ryan, you're right about that, Paul. I can't disagree with you.
Paul, I know, it happens, right? I was a fan of the show before I joined it many moons ago. Paul, what's your #1 biggest storyline coming into the college football season?
Molly, I know you're not sitting with Stephen A., but I want you to tell him to calm down here because I know how big he is on Alabama.
Down.
But Alabama has a good team, Stephen A. You and I agree on that. But the world of college football now revolves around Georgia, not Alabama. They're good. They have players, but the dynasty's over. And quite frankly, Stephen A., it's been over for a couple of years. They haven't won a national championship since COVID. They have good players. They start the season number 5. That just seems weird, doesn't it, that they're that low? And while I think they'll make the playoffs, they better. Because can you imagine Alabama not being in the first 12-team playoff? Well, I think
that ain't going to happen.
Should have.
I mean, why would you even mention that? That is impossible.
What?
I mean, Alabama not making a 12-team playoff field? That's impossible. I mean, why would you even bring that up? I mean, they should flood your car. You know what? If I have time, because I got a busy day today, I'm out here in California. If I got time today, I might call into your show. Just to stir the cup to make sure that there's a tsunami of Alabama fans to call it. How could you even mention the possibility that they're not going to be in a 12-team playoff? What?
Yeah.
That is not going to happen.
He pretty much said they're irrelevant and it's over. So I don't know I don't know what your game plan is.
Let me say this.
Do you want to jump on another bandwagon? What do you want to do?
I mean, I don't care where you are today. Calm down for a second and listen to me, okay? It's not a sure thing. And Kalen DeBoer has the credentials, but he isn't Nick Saban. And Nick Saban willed that program last year to the playoffs. Georgia, I don't know. I still don't know how they beat Georgia in the championship game, but they did because they had the GOAT.
Yeah.
They don't have the GOAT anymore. They have a good coach. Okay, he's good, but he won at Washington. He's won at some other places out in the hinterlands. But he's got a very difficult schedule. He's got Georgia. He's got Georgia at home. What?
The blasphemy. The man is what? Man, all he could do is win where he's at, Paul. All he could do is win where he's at, and wherever he has gone. He was the one in the national championship game last year. And let me tell you something right now. Georgia, okay.
I'm aware of that.
Hold on, stay with me. Georgia was the 2-time, and listen, I love Kirby Smart. He's a great coach, the whole bit, the whole 9, okay? They were a 2-time reigning national champion. Let us not forget how they got that first national championship, okay? I mean, both receivers for Alabama ended up going down. They're lucky that happened. They wouldn't have won that national championship, okay? And then 2 years later, last year, they're en route to a three-peat, and who took them out in the SEC championship game? Alabama. That's who did it. You better watch yourself, Paul Finebaum. The blasphemy.